Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So here we are, day 2 of Inktober, and this wasn't really one of the fan arts I was talking about yesterday. It was more of a loose prompt, and the prompt that I'm going by for this year, day 2, is Flapjack. Now, immediately my mind went to this character. And I don't watch a lot of this show, but my sister absolutely loves this. Actually, multiple of them absolutely love this show, and it's such a ridiculous show. And before I move on to talk about the show, I was called out on my Coraline Jones video by my sister because she did introduce me to the video and I did not give her credit, so Micah, thank you. She pointed me to it and she was very humble. She was like, oh, all I ask is that you tell everyone I'm the reason you do art, and I'm not taking much credit. I'm just saying, you're here because of me. So thank you for your contribution. Back to this picture. Flapjack is the main character, well, one of the main, in the Misadventures of Flapjack, and it is the craziest, weirdest show. I've seen quite a few episodes. I know I haven't seen them all, so it probably gets crazier. But it's about this boy who has a friend named Captain K'nuckles, and he is addicted to syrup. That is their alcohol of choice. And a whale that he lives inside her mouth named Bubbie. And the adventures or misadventures that these characters get onto is just crazy. Like, I don't even know where to start. For this one, I showed a bit of a different view of my process. I don't normally record the outlining process, but I had sketched it and thought, it would be something different, and I guess someone might want to see the outlining process. It's not really all that much. It's pretty normal. But I outlined everything, and I think a 0.1 is usually what I use. And just around Flapjack, which I almost went around Bubbie as well, I used a thicker outline just to make him pop to the front, since he is the prompt or the main word, Flapjack. And for the pumpkins, the one he's standing on is just a plain old pumpkin, which I kind of regret now not putting his face on it, just because all 3 of them would be pumpkins and he could have like that same facial expression on the pumpkin that's on his face right now. But, regrets, whatevs. The one to the left, the shorter one, or the medium one I guess, is K'nuckles, and I pulled up reference pictures for their facial expressions, and he's very gloomy looking all the time and has this weird old shaped nose. And the big one is Bubbie, and she's a whale, so she got the biggest pumpkin, and I didn't make it huge. I mean, that's a big old pumpkin, but I didn't make it like life size for her because the scale is way different, since he like lives in her mouth or whatever. And for the coloring, I first went over them all in my, I don't even know the number, but it's like the only orange Ohuhu marker that I have that's not like neon orange, kind of stab your eyeballs a little bit. And just to get a flat color so I didn't have to use my Copics, because this paper is different from what I'm working with. I don't know if it takes more ink, but I kind of don't just want to risk it, And I laid a flat color on all of them first, and then went in with different shading, and I decided to shade them differently. Like for the pumpkin he's standing on, I used darker oranges, or lighter oranges, and a yellow. For K'nuckles, I used like brown, and I think purple, and maybe a dark orange, just to give him a gloomy kind of color scheme, since that's his personality. For Bubbie, I went more with the lighter colors just because of her, again, personality, and made her a brighter pumpkin. And all the leaves are the same, it's just a green, I think it's like YG25 or something like that. Just a bright green, and I blended it, I believe, I really need to write these down, but YG67, I think it sounds about right. And I didn't shade too much. I really wanted to do like a minimal shading. Like I normally like to shade with 3 colors, but for this, and I did this on the first picture as well, I just went with 1 color just to simplify it a little bit, because these are full illustrations that I'm wanting to do, and I don't want to spend too much time because I am in my last semester and it is so crazy. And I got my graduation announcements printed today, so now I get to fill out like 100 of those, and I'm just a busy girl. But I really want to do this challenge because I absolutely love it. For the background behind the pumpkins, it's a very simple ombre. I just used Copics versus watercolor like I did on the first one, which was a little tricky because I wanted it yellow to kind of match the eyes and to bring those colors back in and just reuse them. But at the bottom of the circle, it's orange, so it's orange touching orange for the pumpkins, and it was a little tricky, but I tried to use like an orange yellow, so there was enough yellow, I think, to where it wasn't just a big old orange blob behind this character, which it was quite hard to draw Flapjack, which I've drawn him since then. I actually doodled him after, because the original one, I wanted to show him hugging like a Bubbie plushie or something, this big old doll, and I just couldn't get the pose right. Like I wanted him almost falling or laying on top of this giant Bubbie character, but it didn't work out, so I went with this one, but I'm still okay with it because it turned out super cute. And for his picture in this one, it was tricky because I couldn't find this pose or expression all together, so I mixed 3 different reference photos to get this pose and facial expression. I think the feet up and then the torso part was one, and then like the cheeks and the arms was another, because his hands are kind of pushing his cheeks up, so they kind of interact with each other. And then his face, besides the cheeks, and the eyes were another picture. So much work. Like, he's super cute, but oh my goodness. I don't think my sister realized until I told her, and then I showed her all the pictures. She's like, yeah, well, you know, it happens like that. What else? Oh, you'll see it at the very end, I did go in with some Prisma color pencil because the yellow in the eyes on the pumpkins were just not right. They were very dull for me, and I wanted to lighten them up. I think I just added too much of a darker yellow to shade it with. So I went back in with a light kind of yellow Prisma color pencil and just lightened it up a little bit. I think I added some of the lighting on the pumpkins and the leaves as well, but I tried not to go overboard with it. His skin. Okay. His skin was so hard to color because he has like these cute little blush parts on his cheeks, but the skin color and then the blush color I initially colored with was not right, and then I went in with like a super dark pink, so I fixed that with Prisma color pencils as well and just kind of blended it a little bit better. And his shirt was another problem because, and you'll see me just pausing for a really long time to color the red stripes in his shirt, and that's because I could not find the marker that I wanted. I had all of these markers on my desk, and I was like, you know what, I've got to have used it. It's not in timeout, which is where I put my markers when I need more ink for them, so I don't accidentally grab them to color a picture and then I don't have enough ink to finish that picture. So they go to timeout. And he wasn't there. And I looked in my piles. He wasn't there. And I finally found him. He was under my desk. So I don't know who said he could play hide and seek when it was work time, but he's gonna go to timeout, but a different timeout. So I had to use, and this is where I'm just looking back and forth for this marker. And the color I wanted was R17 because it was like perfect. It was like a faded red, which went with his outfit, but I could not find it. So I ended up using R14 first, but it was super light and kind of pinkish, and it just wasn't right. So I put R29 on top of it, and I would have gone with that initially, but it was just super dark, and his shirt's a lighter red, but it worked out in the end. And I love this guy. He's super cute. I can't wait to draw or at least doodle him again. I might color the Bubbie and him picture. Let me know if that's something you would be interested in. And yeah. I don't know when the next video for Inktober I will be able to record. Maybe at halfway, or just when the next fan art theme comes up, like Digimon or Disney villain or princess or Diva. Definitely gonna do a video for Diva, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say, and the video's almost done, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!